Hello, hello. Technology there. Hi, everyone. Give it a second here. Welcome. My name is 𝗧𝗢𝗣𝗘, and this is Crafty Hour, episode 58. So, missed a couple weeks just because I had gone for a birthday trip the very last week in January and had a great time, but ended up with a cold from it. Not COVID, but just a cold, and that cold turned into a sinus infection, so I was down for the last couple weeks, but feeling much better. Super excited to start crafting again here with all of you on this episode of Crafty Hour. So welcome. Excuse me. Grab a drink of water real quick. So, all right. So tonight we are going to be playing with the Sweet Citrus bundle, and it is a photopolymer stamp set. It has dies and a 3D hybrid embossing folder. So I'm going to show you how all that works. Excuse me. And this is the card we're going to make, but we're going to do a little bit different designer series paper back there. So this is a joy fold card here. And so it opens this way and this way. So I love that sentiment, sending you a big squeeze. So it goes really well with the citrus. Excuse me. So, all right. 1 second here. We should be good to go. So, there we go. Let's go to the solo layout here, just so you can see better what I'm doing. And again, we're going to be making this joy fold, fun fold. And you can see here by the envelope, it is a basic standard card size, but we're going to make it a little different. So let's get started. This designer series paper is from the host set, which has a ton of different patterns in it. And if you get it, let's see here, I wrote it down over here. It is 48 sheets, 4 each of 12 double-sided designs. So lots of bang for your buck. And you can use your host rewards for this and get this huge pack of paper for only $18. So, hi, Lisa. Hi, Coney. So, all right. So the last time I used the following colors here. For this card here, I used Parakeet Party, Crushed Curry, and Orchid Oasis. So that's how I made the sample card here. We're going to change it up just a smidge. And on this one here, because I'm going to go with this sheet here, and we will be using, just move that off to the side here. We're going to be using the Shaded Spruce here, the Tahitian Tide, and Daffodil Delight. So we're going to make lemons this time instead of an orange. So I'll just put that there so everybody can see it. And let's get started. We are going to be doing our cutting first before we do anything else. So back there, get out my trimmer. Go off to the side here. Okay, so I'm going to take, this is going to be the card base on both sections. This is 𝗧𝗢𝗡𝗘. Now, you're probably going to be like, what is she doing at first? So let's go with this, okay? Normally, you would cut this paper in half this way to make a landscape style card, or you'd cut it this way to do a vertical one. But we don't need that much. So we are going to put those over there. We're just going to cut off the end. So it is going to be the same size of 4 1/4. Go to 4 1/4 there. All right, so we have that at 4 1/4. We are going to turn that on the 8 1/2 inch side, and we are going to score it at 5 1/2. So a typical card. Let me move my cutting piece out of the way there. All right. Let me grab my bone folder here. I had it. It was right here. All right. We're going to use a block. Improvise. Go ahead and burnish that. So here is our first piece. Again, it's 8 1/2 by 4 1/4, and it's scored at 5 1/2. So we'll set that aside there. The next piece we're going to cut is this smaller, and it needs to be 3 inches. 3 inches here. By it's 8 inches. So I need to pull out that arm there. Just cutting just a little bit off the end there. Now this one needs to be, it's 8 inches long. We need to score it in half. So we need to score it at 4 inches. All right. And again, let's see here. I just had that bone folder this morning. Hold on. No worries. We're back to the block. Give that a good burnish there. That works pretty well. So as you can see here, we are putting this together. We're making our pieces here, okay? So those are those two. Set those off to the side right there. Okay, next, let's go ahead and cut down some of the white that we're going to be using for the mats here and for this inside piece here. Hi, Oreo. I see you. I know you're trying to get up here. Oreo's going to try to make an appearance here. Maybe. She keeps pacing between my legs. Okay, so on these cardstock pieces here, the layering pieces, I need one that's going to be a 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So 4 1/8 here by 5 3/8. So there we go. Okay, so that's going to be that bottom piece there. All right. The next piece we need is, I told you, see, she was coming up. Hi, Diane. Move it. Oh. All right. So the next piece we need is 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. And Oreo. Really, sweetheart. You're going to come and sit right there, aren't you? Come on. Nobody wants to see your butt. Dad says hi. All right, I'm trying to give her some room here to sit down. There you go, sweet pea. Sit. Okay, back to the card. Okay, so let's see if this one will work for any of it. Oreo, come on. Oh, your dad says you're a pita. Yes, you are. We love you anyways. 2 inches, 2 inches. Excuse me. We're looking for 2 7/8 by 3 7/8. So this one will do it. Okay, so there's 7/8. All right. And then this way, we're looking for 3 7/8. Just in case you wonder what it's like crafting with cats. I honestly, y'all, she was sound asleep in the living room. Sound asleep. Sound asleep. So, all right. So this one here is for that piece, which will be this one here. All right. So we've got that one. We need this side piece here and the inside piece. So let's go. We need 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. So 4 1/8 by 2 7/8. There we go. This one will be for this piece here. So off to the side right there. Like I said, this one goes underneath there. And we'll go all over all those. And then the inside cardstock piece, the interior, needs to be 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So this one is for inside here. We're getting them together. We're almost done with those. Need to cut a couple pieces of this. All right. And what we're going to do is this piece here and this piece here. Okay. So these are the DSPs. We'll need at 4 inches by 5 1/4. So let's go 5 1/4 by 4. All right. So this is going to be this back piece here, like so. The next piece here we need is also 4 inches, but it's 2 3/4 inches. Here. And then 4. This one will be going here, like so. And then the very last piece that we need to cut here, we're going to do this side, is, hang on, I'm reading my notes because I had to write this down. In case you don't know, I make one of these every crafty hour so that I can have that for myself. Because you make so many, you kind of need this stuff. So, all right. this last cut. It should be, oh, that's where I'm, it's 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. All right, so here we go. 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. And this one we are going to layer on here. So those are all the pieces. All right. So we do need this extra piece of the rest of the piece of the basic white because we are going to make the lemons. So, all right. And then we'll cut it out. So let's do our stamping and then we'll go over everything. So we're going to stamp on the inside here. We are going to stamp a little bit on our envelope. And we are going to stamp here and use the hybrid embossing folder to cut it out. And we're also going to emboss this piece again. So I like to start with the outline. And again, we're going with Daffodil Delight because we're making lemons. All right. Okay. And I'm just checking here. You can see the where these are on here. So I'm just going like so. Okay, we didn't get a full print, but you know what? That's okay. These are photopolymer. Excuse my head for a second. See how easy that was? All right, just set that off to the side. We have the inside of these now. Hi, Cheryl. All right. So now we are going to fill these lemons here. All right. I also forgot to put the stamping mat under here so I didn't have a cushion. There we go. We've got lemons. All right. So I'm going to set this piece off to the side for a second. And we are going to stamp, like I did here with this orange, we're going to do a lemon here. Okay. And I put my Stampin' Chamois here so we can clean this off because I am going to use just one little corner of that. I don't want the rest of it getting over onto the paper. All right. So I just want this open, like half a slice here. So I'm going to very carefully, you can see where it is. All right. And let me put this under here. This little bit of cushion helps with the photopolymer stamps because they don't have any cushion backing like a normal. There we go. And I'm doing this one here. You get any on any of the other one, just kind of use your finger, wipe it off. There's our lemon. Okay. The next thing is we're going to use a little bit of the flowers here. And this time I am going with Shaded Spruce, which is the darker green in this designer series paper here. Okay. close this one because we're done with it. There's that. Forget we're also going to be needing these here because we're going to die cut those out as well. Set that off to the side there. So when I die cut this, I did one of these. I did two of these. And then I did 2 sets of leaves. And I'll show you the cool thing about this stamp set here when we go to cut these out. So set that off to the side there. Oh, can't forget the envelope. There we go. Clean these off real quick. If you hear the squeaking sound, it's the little chamois sound. Okay, and we are going to stamp the sentiment here in Tahitian Tide. Okay. Sending you a big squeeze. And there we go. Okay, let's cut out these pieces and then we will go over everything before we assemble everything. So I'm going to set that off to the side there, along with the envelope. Here. So then we don't need this anymore. We have all these pieces here. Move the sample real quick. And let's go ahead and die cut these first. And one thing I wanted to point out about this here is that they gave you extras. So you actually have 2 of these, 2 of these, and 2 of these, which makes it so much easier. Thanks, Crony. When you are die cutting stuff. So that over there. All right, so because we are using a big hybrid embossing folder, we need to do the big one here. So we are going to get, let me get the plates out. For this first cutting, we're going to need the base plate number 1. Going to need number 2, which is the shim. Number 3, which is the cutting plate. And I know you can't see all this. There we go. We'll go like that so you can see a little bit better. Okay, so because we have all these dies, we can run these all in one shot. Just line them up. That's why I gave myself ample room on here. Because if you stamp them too close together, then you go and the dies have these edges on them. You won't be able to run them through at the same time. Okay. There we go. When you just go to set this on, just do it very carefully. And see, I kind of moved some of those. course, I did while I was on camera. You can use like a little bit of washi tape. So, all right, kind of give it a squeeze there, and we're going through. Right. So, you're done with these pieces. I'll just set them off over here so I don't misplace them. Now, as you see here on this, if you're going to stamp it on the paper, you're going to get these little dots. But if you're going to use the dies to cut it out, it's going to get rid of those. So just so you know. All right. And one more. All right. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this little piece and we're just going to emboss it with the embossing folder. So for this, because it is a 3D embossing folder, you just need plate 1. You need to put this in here wherever you want it. All right. And also another thing that Stampin' Up! Does that's really nice is they give you this line here. So if you had a full piece in there, you'd be able to line that up to get that in there straight. So, all right, so we're going with that. And then we need plate 4 because it is a hybrid embossing folder. It's 3D, it's thick. So go ahead and put that through there. And so now we have that embossed citrus. All right, so put that to the side. And before we do this, let's go through. I told you that this was a hybrid embossing folder. And what that means is that this particular die right here nestles right into this, like so. And we are going to line up these to go with it. So what I like to do is turn it over because you've got it on there. And I need to trim that off just a smidge. I'll just tear it. So we are looking to just line these up. It's real easy. And there we go. All right, so I'm going to back this back through here. And again, we're using that same number 4 plate. And you'll see what happens this time. So great embossing folder because you can do so much with it. Right, let me set that off to the side there. All right. So now we have not only die cuts, but they are embossed. I don't know if you can see that there. So actually I've got a lot of texture on them now. Pretty cool. So there's that. Okay. The only other thing we're going to do before we assemble and go over everything is that this piece that I just embossed, I have an old sander. It is Stampin' Up, but I mean, we don't sell them anymore, but this is what I'm going to do with this is just take this and I'm going to lightly sand. And you can see what is happening here. There you go. See, the embossing folder did some, but I wanted it to be a little bit more. So I like the sanding effect there. And I'm just going to run that over the raised edges. To get a little bit more depth in there on this background piece. Even this whole lemon here, because it's got a couple grooves here in the corner. All right. I think that looks pretty good there. I'm like, I hope I did the right piece there. All right. So let's start assembling here. We can do our layers first here. And it's this way. This one, this one. Yes. There we go. Hi, Peggy. I can totally see you using that sanding idea. All right. There we go. We're just making a nice little mat here. There's that one. Go ahead and do this one here. Run out of glue here. All right. It's just got a very small mat here. There we go. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and do this top one here. And even though this is 3D embossed, it still holds well with the glue. Just remember that when you have embossed with the 3D embossing folder, your paper stretches and stuff. So don't be surprised if it is a little wonky when you fit it down. But with the multi-purpose glue, you can kind of put it back a little bit where you want it. Like, see it bubbled up down here. Up here. Just could have put it back to the shape that you wanted it. There we go. Okay. Now remember, this inside piece is going to open in the opposite direction. So that's why we're going this way. There's our little, sending you a big squeeze lemon. All right, let's go ahead and put this on this one here. There we go. Okay, that's that piece there. Let's go ahead and put this in here. Just kind of checking, hey, that almost matches right there. So we will go this way. Okay, there we go. One more piece here. And I like to put that bottom one down first, so then you can line this one up with this here. There we go. Give that a second to dry. Okay, now we're going to adhere this piece. Now remember, this card is going to open like this. We want the opening on this side for this one, the opening for this one on this side. So like so. So we are going to go ahead and put the glue back here. All right. And all you're going to do is center it, push this flap over to the left and center this. Excuse my head for a second. Doesn't need to be, precise. Just kind of center it the best you can there. Give it a good push. All right. And so there is that. Now, we're going to take the back side of the stamping mat here. And we've got our little pieces. And what I'm going to do is with these flowers here, if I can pick them up, is going to emboss them a little bit by just making a little circle to give them some dimension there. You see how they're folding up as I go around in a circle with this little ball embosser here. All right. And with the leaves here, I'm just going to take my hand, because I can't find my bone folder, and just kind of fold them, shape them. So now we've got a little leaf shape, a little bit more dimension to those. And the same thing here. There we go. All right. So let's go ahead and add these onto here. I still just used glue with this, just so you know. So just kind of lay these out where you want them. You want a darker one down here, a lighter one up here, however you want it. We're going to do this similar to that one. It kind of looks like this. And then, of course, will be a lemon out here. All right. Go ahead and do the lemon first. And what I wanted to do was cover up this lemon here, so that's why the placement of this is as it is. Okay, the next we're going to do is a little bit on the bottom of the leaves here. Just hold that for a second. Go ahead, go that way with that one. Just kind of arrange these how you want them. Might be, yeah, there we go. And just remember to have fun with this stuff. Just because the lemon is yellow and, Orange is orange. I mean, they all come in so many different colors. Have fun with it. You don't have to stick to the colors that nature made them in. This one I tucked under a little bit. I've got one more. Which is good because my glue is going. Tuck that under right there. Okay. Take my pick tool. And we have the In Color Matte Decorative Dots here. Thanks, Connie. And because we can do any color we want here, but because I did this 𝗧𝗢𝗡𝗘, that's what I'm going to go with here for these. All right. Just make them a little bit fun. The reason why I did this exact amount of flowers is because these are ombre colored, and there's 3 and 3, and we got 3 and 2, so it kind of worked out perfectly. Yes, pink grapefruit, Cheryl. All right. And look, you got leftover pieces, can make a different card with them, which is fun and easy to do. So we've got our orange joy fold, sending you a big squeeze. And we have our lemon. So there you go. You guys should really see this in person. I mean, it's so nice. Just a little bit of sanding there just really makes a big difference on that. And you can see I did that on the orange one as well. Oops, go backwards there. There you go. So there they are. 2 sweet citrus joy fold cards. I hope if you haven't ever tried this fold's been around for a long time, but it's fun to change it up with new stuff that you get. I hope you'll give it a try. If you missed any of the measurements, the replay will be available both on my Facebook and YouTube channels. If you haven't found me on YouTube, I would appreciate it so much if you went over and hit follow on there. It would help me out a lot. Thanks, Cheryl. Yeah, I think that it's a little bit fun there. So anyways, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it. Hope everybody stays well. And I will see you next week for Crafty Hour episode 59. Thanks so much. Have a great night. Bye-bye.